Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I had a request from a viewer. I'll put it up there, but he has one of these locks. It's the Masterlock M736 puck lock, and what makes these pretty cool is, as far as like physical attacks. Man, you hook it back here. So I mean, if you just got like a little eyelet, that goes up like this, and you put it like that, your only option of getting to this thing is through this, and this is heavy. This is thick. Now, he says he can't. I think he said bump, rake, rock. Oh, missed my toe. That was a big flashlight too. It was gonna hurt. It was an 18650, but it was aluminum. And I dodged it. I dodged the bullet. No, I dodged the let's see, what is this? The TDO2. Alright, so and he was asking if I could do some tips and tricks and stuff like that. So I have a few questions on that. First off, if somebody says they can't get it, if they said the lock won't, SPP, that's single pin pick, that's a technique. Rake, that's another technique, but it can be, a shape of a pick. Zip, and then he also said comb pick in there. Now, SPP, rake, zip, all those are using a pick and a tension wrench and stuff like this. A comb pick, you just need the comb pick. And not all locks can work with a comb pick. See, this one right here, this is a translucent lock, and it was shipped to me from China. So I put the stuff back in and glued it in, but what I did was I set it up like a lock picker. I didn't realize that, I set it up at the shear line. This is not the way a lock would be. This is the way a lock would be when you pick it. You see all the pins lined up? And when you're doing something, you've got tension down here. When you've got a pick, let me see if I can get one in there. When you got like a Bogota or something like that, again, you have to usually go bottom of the keyway tension. See, you don't have a lot of room in there. But what you're doing is you're hoping that the randomness of it will bounce these pins up and down enough so that eventually, when you're going like this, it'll reach that point. Now, when he says it won't do any of these, my first question would be, do you have a key for it? Have you ever opened it before? The lock might be defective. The second one is, what is your picking skill? If you're just a novice and everything like that, well, even on YouTube, even if I go in here and I open this one easily, that doesn't mean that your lock, would be that easy to open. I'm just, jacking around with it here. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the tension wrench. If you look at it, this is bottom of the keyway tension, but you see that bottom part right there? That's separate right there. So if you're doing like this and you bind down like that, you see that? That can be an issue. You're trying to get enough room. See, you barely got any room to work in here. You're trying to get enough room to get in there. Oh, wow. You're trying to get in there so you can do that, which is open it. You see how easy that was? I didn't have to rock, I didn't have to bounce around. And this is where your... Alright, it's locked. Oh, it can't go all the way in because I locked it from the outside. Well, let's fix that. So, when you're new also, this is a Bogota. These will break quite often right there because you have a tendency to rock it too hard or to force it or whatever. What I try to do is just get it in there first loose without any tension, and then I just kind of like rock, you know, just like a little up and down. And it may be the tension, like the first time I did this one, I had heavy tension because we tend to do that on Masterlocks with heavy tension. And I stuck the rake in there and I went back and forth, and it wouldn't undo it. And I went, I wonder what's wrong. And I just backed off tension on the wrench just a little bit. See, if it sits like this is better. But make sure you've got a big enough tension wrench in there. That could be one thing. And then the other one I would say is not all locks are rakeable. Sometimes if they've got security pins, which this one doesn't, if it's got security pins, all you'll get is a false set. And what I mean by a false set is, let's say it'll get to like this position. And what that usually means is you're hung up on a spool. Alright, so that was raking and rocking. Alright, here's just a standard hook. Oh, I don't want to lock it all the way. Now we'll lock it up. It's locked, right? Put your tension wrench in. Now again, the difference between doing this right here and doing it somewhere else is, you see how this goes up against here? You may not be able to get that up against what you're picking if it's locked, you know, like a trailer or something like that. But I just want to take this time to mention the ethics of picking. I'm not teaching someone, you know, how to break into stuff. Hopefully you have your own moral ethics. You know, if we wanted to use this one like a rake, we just turn it upside down, and we just go back up here. And that's something you're just going to have to learn, is how to tension. This is a zip. I'd turn it hook side up, and just get back here, and then I let off. Sometimes you don't let off tension if you think you got to start with it, but let's try zipping. And again, like I said, just because you see someone do it real easy on a video, don't get disheartened if you're just learning to pick, because it takes time. It takes time to learn this. Now there's another pick called like a snake, and it's got like a little curve and a let's see if I can find one. It's really whatever pick you have. The second thing I would mention is it takes practice. It's just like anything. There's no magic. You know, it may look like it's super easy. Here, I can't find my comb pick that's set up for 4 pins. Get these that I'd have. See, here's a different tension wrench. This is one of these Chinese Z picks, but it works pretty well. I mean, Z tension. Z. See, it's not hung up, and it tensions it well. Let me see if I can SPP it. Another thing is you might not be going far enough back to get all the pins, but I'm just looking for any. Single pin picking is usually the slowest, but also the most reliable way to do it. I got a binder here in the middle. I think it's only like 4 pins. Yeah, you might have to do the tension wrench facing out more this way if you did that, or it's a lot different. It's just like it's the difference between shooting at a target that doesn't shoot back or one that does. You know, nothing. I can single pin picket it, but that's just kind of a zip. You're just kind of like hoping that you can get it. As you can see, the Bogota was the fastest way. A lot of times, you don't have to really worry. There, I got it. The tension wrench fell out, but it got it. You're not trying to figure out which pin is where. I'm trying to put this back in here. There. You're just rocking this around, randomly hoping for something. And again, that all depends on see, this is a different one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 if that one's something back there. And then, you know, you've got all different kinds of ones. But basically, get this shit out of the way. You spray lubricant in there, and this is where I would recommend you have eye protection on. You know, something like this, or something like this. And then Walmart sells this. You know, because the reason why I say eye protection is a lot of times, even if you got one of these little needles, you go to spray in the keyway and the crap will shoot right back into your eyes. But yeah, this one's real easy to pick, rake, rock, everything else. Let me see if I can single pin pick it. It's just that it's heavy doing it this way. It's better to put it in a vise and all that. Alright, let me go in there. And I, you know, a lot of times I'm just going and I just move on the pins a little bit. This guy's binding back here. Oh, I got a click out of him. Somebody way in the back. I think there's only 4 pins in here. I'm gonna get that. There we go. The way I always look at it is, ultimately I want to be able to single pin pick it. But if I can't, and I can get into it with raking or whatever else, then I don't worry about it quite as much. But you can have 2, these are not identical, but you could have 2 identical locks. This is why I like the Masterlock number 3. To start off on, this is number 1. This is number 3. Because, I think it said down here, tough under fire. Because with these, they're not real heavy, like this. And it's what I started off with, you know, practicing with. They're pin tumblers. I'm just trying to find not a pick, but the core. I tore one of them apart. Here it is. This is basically what you've got in there. 4 pins. There's your little Bible. This is not brass. And that's it. That's what you're dealing with. I mean, so if you tear one of these apart, you'll get this. And this is the really the lightest way to carry around in practice. What I would do before I was going to go to work, I would pick whichever lock I want to carry with me that day, and I'd clip it. I'd lock it to my belt. And then I could just sit there, you know, and fiddle around with it, you know, and do my picking. when there's downtimes. You know, a lot of times there's downtime or you get bored. But that's what I'd carry. And after a while, you know, if you get to doing it, you start realizing, you learn the lock, basically. And it's no fun anymore. Let's see if this one will zip. See, they won't all zip and rake. Look at this. It's giving me a hard time here. There we go. The only thing is you don't want to go all the way up. See, you don't want this side matching that side because they're under spring tension and they'll shoot through those little holes. This is, see that right there. So yeah, so that's all it is really to it. Your lock might be different, but let me check my notes and to make sure. Did I single pin picked a rock? There's things like bump keys. A comb key is a bypass, so you don't have to know anything about picking. You just have to get the right spacing depth on it, and you just push it in there. So like I said, I don't have any of my 4-pin comb keys. You can get little, this one's all torn apart. This is a Mad Bob. Covert Instruments makes them also, little pick key things, but I just carry a few basic size picks with me, and it'll handle most locks you run into. See, like here's a Masterlock 1, 2, 3, 4. Fairly flat bitting. This is just a keyway limiter thing, you know. You want to make sure you're going the right direction. That could be another thing. You could be going the wrong direction with your tension, and you're like, why won't this thing open up for me? Well, because you're tensioning it the wrong way. I assume from his comment and everything that he's semi-skilled at least with picking, because he mentioned he had 3 different locks. You know, he had that one, and yeah, you just get as many locks as you can find, and just start practicing with them, and you'll be able to get into most of these locks right here. You know, this is a Masterlock number what? Number 5. Fairly large. Here's your bitting. Semi-complicated, you know, there's a high set one here and a couple of low sets behind it, and you know, it could be tricky, but you know, at first, if you get it one way, try another way. You know, I would do that. I would say, all right, let's see if it'll Bogota, and I just keep doing it, you know, like kicking a dead horse until either Bogotas or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, oh well. At least I got it one way. Let's see if we can zip this guy. I'm going to turn the hook upside down. That's another thing you can try changing picks. Sometimes, you know, you're just using a pick that doesn't fit it properly. And what I mean is, you know, like, see, this is it's what they call a city key. And you just put it in there, and if it fits it right, fine. If it doesn't, you kind of like wobble and wiggle, and it might work, you know. Was I lining that up with this bitting? You would think so. Look at that. This guy doesn't reach up high enough, but if you rock and wiggle and do all kinds of that stuff and try not to giggle. Tough under fire! See, you can shoot it open, but this is a lot less effort, you know, learning how to pick a lock. So that's rocking. That's just kind of like, and these are a little bit stronger the city rake, you know, they got more material. They don't have a real weak spot on them like the Bogotas do. But you can do this. This is a raking motion where you're just kind of like, eh. But again, you're going to have to learn tension, how to tension it. And this guy, I've already shown him before, is a bypass. So you don't, I consider a comb pick a bypass, and that's just a poor lock design. This is also, all they need to do is put a little piece of metal in there, and they could have shielded this lock from this type of an attack, but oh, it's halfway open, I think. Here we go. Yeah, see? I didn't pick anything, I just went in there and bypassed it. So, good locks won't have a bypass. Like I said, I don't have the comb pick for this one. But we know little Bogota. See, this is another Bogota with sharper ends. Some that are a little bit gentler are worm picks. This is a Mad Bob one. I don't use it a lot because it's thin. If you get a Dangerfield set, the Dangerfield Praxis set, comes with 23 thousandths, which are, you know, Masterlock type of size, and then 15 thousandths. That's just when the keyway is just thinner and everything. But you see how this one does that? If you're doing that with your tension wrench, yeah, you're gonna have problems. And so that one's too small. Why didn't you use the one you had? I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, here's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 4-pin lock. All I can find are my little 5-pin ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're in different spacings and everything. But the concept behind that is you just get there and push them all the way up, and bam, wham bam, there you go. You can do top of the keyway tensioning too, you know, if you want. It's just that when you're raking and you're doing top of the keyway tensioning, it'll tend to knock your tension wrench out. Usually these are for like more sophisticated type of locks, top of the keyway tensioning. See, you can't really, let's see if we can zip or rock. See, knock crap off. So if this is all you had, you could still try to stick it down there. Oh, we had it open. I managed to zip it open. Yeah, so that's another thing. Sometimes the lock that you're messing around with, you picked it open already. You know, it's already picked open. And you just didn't know it because you didn't apply enough tension. I haven't opened one of these in a while. It's a commercial. It's good bottom keyway. But yeah, if it's been in use, you know, it's sitting around machinery and stuff like that, the lubricant being shot in there will help the springs and the pins fall back down, because if a pin is stuck up in the top, like it's frozen or whatever, and you're trying to get this way, well, it's not going to turn. Let's see if this one. I'm not getting the lock you were talking about, but I just wanted to also demonstrate that all locks are different too. You know, they're all, they may be exactly the same looking and everything. Usually these are really easy to get into. You can barely get any room in that keyway. Here we go. Oh, it won't. It's too thick. See, that's something going on here. Let me look. Yeah, this pick is not really, I got something, I got a slight movement. See if I can zip it, Rocky Balboa. And on these types, sometimes your 10th wrench can be stuck on that post, and you're thinking, man, I can't get this thing open. Turn it upside down, hook side up. It's moving pins, but it's just not. And this is usually, I think this is a pretty easy one to get into most time. Change picks anyway. When all else fails, change picks. Here's another hook. Standard hook usually works pretty well for me. I've taken forever, man. I better cut this out. So anyways, yeah, that's my suggestion. Just try those different things I recommended. And you know, the lock picking ethic is, you know, pick only your own locks, not the locks of only locks that you own or have permission to pick. You know, because we don't want you to get into trouble or encourage anything. Here's a worm. I like these. Worm. Let's see if you can worm your way in. Also expect to break and bend picks, you know. Sometimes you can make them. I'm going to give up on this guy. We'll just give up on him. So we'll go back here and we'll lock this guy. And here's one method. You just... Oh, wow. See how quick that was? That's raking. The apartment complex, yesterday I saw him. He was raking. He was trying to rake our lock, and he wound up having to drill it. But yeah, some of them are real easy. So find whatever works for you. And you can work on your skills later. You know, to me, if you get it open with a pick, then you've accomplished something. If you have to hammer it or hacksaw it or cutting torch or drill, then the lock beat you. You didn't beat the lock. Yeah, eventually you did. So there you go. I hope that helped. I think his name was Anthony. So I hope that helped, Anthony. If not, look at my lock picking channel, William Mansell. Subscribe to it if you would. I don't comment on that quite as much, but I'm trying to get back to it. I'm trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers on that one. So I could do like a live stream. I can do a live stream on this one, picking, but yeah, it's mostly a knife channel. So anyways, there we go. Yeah, good luck with your M736. Mine is really easy to get into. Very easy, once you figure out its tricks. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. I managed to find my 5-pin comb picks. And this is what I mean by a poorly designed lock. You take the small one. This is from, I believe it's Sparrow's. It was a top of the keyway tension set. This is for a disc, you know, like a tubular type of lock. I mean, not disc. And this is fat. It won't go in there. And these are the smaller ones. And what you do is you have to go at kind of an angle. See right there, they could have stopped it with warding. And then you get to where the pins are lined up with the first hole and everything. And then it's just a matter of pushing it all the way up. I might not be on it. That's why I said it's real critical to get this spacing just right. And you're not picking, and you're not rocking. What you're trying to do is, I'm trying to do it through the camera. Really, you're doing it by feel anyway. There we go. And you just look at the depth, how far you get when you get successful. If you get, there we go. See? And you just push all the way up. The reason why I say it's poorly designed is the way to defeat that is just to have a longer pin. A longer key pin or a longer driver pin. It's really easy to do. And then this is just like a key. This is why it's so easy to fix that it shouldn't be possible on something, you know, high security and all that. Yeah, it took a little wiggling around, didn't it, you know? But I mean, if you get good at it and you know what you're doing, see, that's probably too far in. It's just a matter of feel. Once those 5 holes line up, you'll feel it give. If it doesn't, then just pull it back out a little bit. You might have gone too far in. It's also possible to get it stuck in there, you know. Just pull it out. I bought a cheap Chinese set before and it bent the hell out of them. See that? You're just lining this up. And you can't really go straight in because of the way the thing is. So you have to go at an angle. And you go banging. You go in. Let's go 2x. Maybe this will help. You're trying to line up. It's easier if you line up the first pin with it. And you try to push. See how far back that is? So you might want to go, there it is. Push all the way in, up. And if it doesn't turn, then don't force it too much. There. You hear that? It went click. You see how far up that is? Now it's just turn. Yeah. See, it's like a key. Because this is the tension wrench, the twisting motion. So you're basically just lining that up with those. And you don't even need, you know, you can just take the edge to close it. So see, really, you should be able to take this. This requires very little skill. There's some skill. I mean, you have to know what you're doing. But I mean, once you do, it's just a matter of, I can actually rake this thing open faster than I can comb. It's not really a pick. Well, they call it a pick, but it's really a bypass. And like I said, it shouldn't be possible. If this lock was made properly, it shouldn't be possible to do that, especially on one of these, you know, you see them on the back of semi-trucks and high security things and stuff like that, and bam. One item gets into it with no problem. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, Sparrow's is a good one. South Ord makes them. They're usually just like 5. Usually 5 things to a comb key set. The 4-pin, the 5. They have other ones. 6-pin, 7-pin. I thought, ooh, that'd be cool. You know, a 7-pin one, maybe it would work. But those are, all I ever found was Chinese ones, and they're crap. They were crap. The steel was too soft, it just bent. Bend and break, break and bend. Anyways, there you go. Hope you found that useful. Don't secure anything with this particular model of lock, would be my recommendation. And don't do anything illegal. Keep it safe. Keep it cool. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.